We never talk about the beef between Eminem and Mariah Carey. They had beef songs, shit like that. How'd that go?
You introduced them?
Yeah.
So did they ever really actually?
So
date?
it's your fault that the beef happened.
No. Okay, so let me tell you what happened there.
Did they ever actually date?
Yes. No. So before we get to it, the story of the origins of Eminem versus Mariah from someone with first-hand accounts, we have got to address the elephant in the room. And by elephant, I'm talking about the speculations of Eminem featuring on Lil Wayne's Carter 6 album that turned out to be false, despite even more information coming out shortly before the release of the album that gave fans some hope. And it is not just Eminem, as we also got reports that claimed even Rolling Stone was out here pushing speculations of Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Young Thug getting featured on the album that turned out to be false. But hey, at least MGK made the cut.
Falling on hard times.
And on the song Cotton Candy, we got some CC wordplay and a Slim Shady drop when Wayne rapped, "Nosedive then swim, baby. More white girls than Slim Shady." And not everyone is taking it well right now, as in response to the Slim Shady name drop, some have expanded the nerve to say that after not having him on the album. But MGK, shake my head. I don't even hate MGK, and I love Wayne, but geez. And for those of you who have checked out the album, how are y'all feeling the album right now? And speaking on new albums, we got another announcement a few hours ago, this time from Joyner Lucas, who dropped this a few hours ago. ADHD 2 album July 18th. First single and album pre-orders go live at 8 p.m. tonight. And clearly some users haven't learned from what just happened with Lil Wayne's Carter 6. Needed features Tech-9, Nas, Big Sean, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Denzel Curry, J.I.D., Eminem, Logic, Exhibit, Rakim, 2 Chainz, Babytron, Grip, Westside Boogie, Griselda, Westside Gun, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, Yellow Wolf, C-Mob, Token, etc. And apart from the fantasy football looking ass tweet, the user seems to have forgotten that Eminem has a grandson. And moving on to the next point, a few days ago we reported how Eminem's publisher, 8 Mile Style, was suing Meta for $109 million. And since this was pretty much reported by some major outlets as Eminem the rapper suing Meta, Eminem released a statement a few hours ago to clear things up. Check out the update from XXL. Eminem has released the following statement to XXL regarding 8 Mile Style's lawsuit against Meta. 8 Mile Style is a publishing company that administers my early catalog releases. The statement reads, "The Meta lawsuit came from them, not me. I'm not personally involved with it, and I am not a party to the suit." And this has now sparked reactions all over the place, as on one end, some believe the statement was released by Paul Rosenberg on behalf of Eminem to XXL. By Eminem, you mean Paul Rosenberg. And this is pretty much pushing the narrative that Paul Rosenberg does everything for Eminem, and some have expanded on how it is the Bass Brothers that go around suing companies since they own a percentage of Eminem's early catalog under 8 Mile Style. And apparently, the last time they sued and won, Eminem donated his share of the winnings. Check out this exchange. The same thing happened when they denounced in New Zealand. I personally do not believe that there is any kind of communication between them, and by them, this user is referring to the relationship between the Bass Brothers and Eminem right now, which got this response. That's why he released a statement so quickly. He wants nothing to do with them, LOL. And here it goes. The same thing happened last time, and if I'm not wrong, he donated the part he won in the trial. So if that's how it goes, that means if 8 Mile Style ends up winning something from Meta in the $109 million lawsuit, Eminem's gonna get his cut, even though he's not involved in the legal proceedings. And before we head to what Royce the 5'9" had to say about Dr. Dre, we got an inside scoop on what went down between Eminem and Mariah Carey from the perspective of radio executive Damiza, who was working with Mariah Carey at the time. And boy, from the story, we got to find out some details that we never heard about, or maybe perhaps I was the only one who didn't know about this. But apparently Eminem wanted Mariah to star in 8 Mile, and you wouldn't believe the role that he proposed. And this got the ball rolling. Check out a snippet from the TFU podcast.
We never talk about the beef between Eminem and Mariah Carey. They had beef songs, shit like that. How'd that go?
You introduced them?
Yeah.
So did they ever really actually
So
date?
it's your fault that the beef happened.
No. Okay, so let me tell you what happened there.
Did they ever actually date?
Yes. No. God. I got a call from M's people, from Steve Stout. He said, yo, M wants to meet Mariah. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I said, I'm not getting in the middle of that. I know how this ends. And plus, right now, I'm pretty much managing Mariah. I had just introduced her to Jay-Z for Heartbreaker. We had a #1. She was getting off Sony. I was dealing with the Tommy sabotage, all of this kind of stuff, with her ex-husband being the CEO of the label, and then introducing her to Jay-Z. You know what I mean? It wasn't a real good time. She says she wants to do Glitter, and I'm like, why do you want to do an independent movie coming off of Sony? So anyways, when they called to introduce Mariah to Eminem, they said, well, he's got this movie called 8 Mile, and he wants her to be in the movie. And I'm like, oh, the bitch is Achilles' heel. Like, she's got this movie coming out. You're offering the movie. If I don't say something and then it comes another route through the business or something, then I'm the bad guy. So I go to Mariah and I say, look, Eminem wants to meet you. And she's like, no, like, I'm not getting up in that. And I said, well, there's this movie. She goes, what's his number? And I'm like, so I call M first and I'm like, look, bro, we're having some issues, because she started to frazzle a little. You know what I mean? This was during that time. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was tenuous. And I was like, don't do this. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I know where you're going with this. Christina Aguilera, all of this kind of stuff, but don't do this. I'm managing this girl and it's going to cause me a problem. And I just did all this for you. Just do me this favor. And he's like, no, I genuinely want her in the movie. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I get her on three-way, put him on the phone. And the first thing out of his mouth is, I want you to play my mother.
She did not like that shit at all.
So her insecurities kicked in.
Oh my
big
all day. That did not go well.
Oh, and before we get to more from the Misa on Eminem and Mariah Carey, if you recall, a while back we covered the story of when Nick Cannon was losing his mind and reportedly looking to fight Eminem in Detroit, and even Wendy Williams back then did a segment, and this was how it went.
These three have a long history. It's been going on for a decade now. So you all remember that way back when there were rumors that Mariah Carey, exactly.
I believe it.
I believe it too.
Okay, being that we're still dealing with it a decade later.
You're right.
He wrote a song, she wrote a song,
Exactly.
Nick is still talking.
Right.
He doesn't need a wheelchair, Eminem. You might be, Nick, you might be younger than him, but stop with the wheelchair. This is so stupid. Can we talk about something else?
So clearly, people who had connections in the industry look to have always known that a certain person was lying all this time, and I'll even go as far as to say that the reason why Nick Cannon was going overboard was because he also knew the stories were true, and that was why the Lord Above verse sent him over the edge. And the story even got better, as the Misa also went into detail of how the first entanglement went down.
I want you to play my mother.
She did not like that shit at all.
So her insecurities kicked in.
Oh my
big
all day. That did not go well.
So then it was her chasing him. It wasn't him chasing her. And so like we were at the Glitter thing in New York for Glitter, and this is where she's really starting to not sleep, not eat, did the TRL thing, you know what I mean, where she took off her clothes and all of this, and I'm like, look, this is all bad. And we're flying from New York to LA, and she's like, hey, we're gonna stop off in Detroit. And I said, we? And so the next thing I know, we're at Eminem's house, and they disappear. You know what I mean? And
did he give you a look when you saw him?
Yeah, no, I mean, she was on him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean at this point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
he strategized.
She stopped in Detroit.
So the second they went in his room, literally, I said, I'm going back to LA. There's no point in me being here. This went from business, y'all fucking.
Yeah.
Right.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
So I went back to LA. I just washed my hands of it. I'm like, this is going to hell in a handbasket. I don't want an issue with M. I don't want an issue with Dre. I don't want an issue with Mariah. I need to stick to the fucking radio. So then I get a call that, Mariah's not doing well, and he had done this and that and, all of this. So she went to Santa Barbara to my grandma's house and was looking for me. So I'm in New York.
She didn't call you?
She tried.
Oh, you were avoiding the phone
And
call.
I was avoiding the calls to come fix this. Yeah. Because it was, this is when it was full-blown Mariah can't make a complete sentence type stuff.
And users on social media have been going off in response to this clip. So Mariah was obsessed with Eminem? Check. And even Damiza is getting props for sharing the story. Props to Damiza. Now we've even got someone backing up that Marshall was telling the truth the whole time. Laughing emojis. He tried to warn him. And the best part is Damiza even touching on stories that provide even more context to some of the lyrics on the warning, like the flights to Detroit. B, shut the F up before I put all them phone calls out you made to my house when you was wilding out before Nick, when you was on my knob and gave you something to smile about. How many times you fly to my house? Still trying to count? Better shut your lying mouth if you don't want Nick finding out.
Hold up, wait a minute. Wow.
Oh, and the gallons of wine. For no reason, girl, you out your alcoholic mind. Check your wine cellar, look at the amounts of all the wine. And like we didn't already conclude in all these years, some have expanded. So basically, Eminem was telling the truth. She did chase him, but only to use him for a movie or whatever she could get out of him, then walked away to use someone else. That is sad, but I always believed Marshall. And before we end it today, we got Royce the 5'9" out here giving props to Dr. Dre that sparked a bit of back and forth on social media after he posted this. Dr. Dre has never made a whack beat, probably never in his life. And while this sparked reactions like, I'm pretty sure this is facts, Dre is also one of the best audio engineers of all time, if not the best. Mixes are perfect every time. However, this was ground zero for some heated debates. Most of the beats you think were made by Dr. Dre weren't even made by him. And this led to some hilarious exchanges. For instance, the user expanded, Steve Jobs wasn't making the iPhones himself. But sure, let's credit the underage Asians assembling the iPhone. And more, now listen to a Scott Storch beat without Dre's hands on it. And some are now bringing up the Snoop and Dre album Missionary as proof that Royce is wrong about this one. He must ain't listened to Missionary. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on these topics in the comment section, including your thoughts on the Carter 6. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.